Hey y'all, what's up? I'm back, still talking about what I saw yesterday in reference to the bank, and that kind of sealed a deal for me, guys, and what I was saying. Um, 2 weeks ago, I started my segments on a con. The acts of a con, and I stand on that now, especially after yesterday. I say this because, you know, over a year now I've been watching, and in the end it's like, you know man, how many people just got like really played. And I look at it as a play, and that's what cons do. They play on people, they play on people's emotions, they play on people's vulnerability, and they have no regards, and they'll keep the game going. You're just a peg in it. If you think you have any attachment at all, if you think you're really all of what you see, those words, everything, those loving words, those caring words, is all con. But the sad thing about it, guys, in the end, those that are cinched in tight uh, are not going to change, and we're not going to. No matter what we say, when they cinched in that tight, and they have been drawn in through propaganda. Because I say this, the reason I say propaganda, because now I'm wondering how many more players are in this, and who are they? Because I think about it, and I think about the propaganda that was out there and how it comes out. And like I said, not everybody was willing uh, part of this. Some people got intentionally drawn in and used into situation in this con, because they know what it was from the beginning. I didn't catch on because I really thought they were sincere about what they were trying to do, but in a sense, you know uh, a reaction channel too. But it was all in the end for the end game, in my opinion. And so that's how I'm looking at it now. That's why I'm calling it what I said it was 2 weeks ago. Now we're in Act 5. The con continues, and I won't change on that, because I'm going to point out why the game continues, and why in the end there will be nothing left but the whatever they want it to be if you're still in it, right? So um, I say this because I do feel sorry for those people that are still in there and thinking that they are not looking for anything, but thinking what is happening is right, and they've been bought into, they've been brainwashed. And guys, it happens, guys. If you can say no, it can't. Yes, it can. Especially when you've been digging in deep for a year or more. When they started digging in, and then they have the propaganda machine also. And that's how I'm looking at it. And I'm looking at a couple of things. I'm going to see where the players lies in this. There's two particular players I'm looking at in this propaganda machine, and however they fall out, that's when I will address it. Now, there were unwilling people that were probably thinking that, hey, this was real. This person is sincere, and they're doing what they're doing, and they were honest. Yeah, we all felt that until we saw what we saw and what we've seen in the past 2 weeks. But yeah, I'm just going to watch for a moment, guys. I haven't been around yet. In my belief, in my opinion, I think I'm hitting things on the head, left and right. And not only myself, there are a lot of other channels that are nailing it down also. So let's continue. Um, I see what I see as the con continues is the flashing of the money. Now, we do know cons flash money. Give you an example how a con flashes money, how they draw people in different reasons. Uh, you know the situation about the envelope, right? The lost envelope. Let's look at it. You find an envelope with money in it. Unbeknownst to you, people that are looking for something for nothing normally gets drawn into this. Or people that just kind of like, don't know. I don't know what draws them into doing this and making believe that they're going to get something, but they get into this when a person finds an envelope and they show them a whole lot of money, and then they tell them, And guys, this takes seconds. Just as I don't know if it's greed that blinds them or what, but it only takes mere seconds. I'm going to show you this money in this envelope. I just found it under the car there. I want to share it with you. Now, I don't know you, A from Adam. You just walk up to me in the middle of the street and told me this. Now, you go to your bank and you go get your money and you bring it back. And this is going to show us that we're being honest, that you want to share part of this, because I just want you to have some. And you go to the bank, you get your money, and you put your money in this envelope. And you hold on to it for whatever reason. And then here comes the switching bait. By the time you look in the envelope, you got newspaper clippings, and they got your money. What happens in those mere seconds that allow a person that they just meet on the street to go to their own bank account and get their money out thinking they're going to get something, and they get a bunch of newspapers? This is what we've seen here, the switching bait. We've seen so many different con elements, from the talk, from the inviting talk, the snoozing, the smoothing, the word placement, the linguistic type of just drawing people in, and just things that they've done from the beginning to the end that I'm paying more attention to. And some people are actually brainwashed. And y'all think it can't be done in that short period of time? Yes, it can. Okay? And these are the people that you will hear them say to the end, for life. How? You don't know anybody like that. You don't know them. How are you pledging allegiance to anybody that you don't know from a can of paint? For life. These are the words that are being used and part of the propaganda. All day, all night, for life, till the wheels fall off, forever. And I look at the propaganda machine and I'm wondering, are some of these plants in these YouTubes and these comments making these comments part of the propaganda, right? Because you do have plants in that people are working with these cons that are putting words, strong words in that ties people's emotion in, and they could be working along with the con. That you think that may be regular supporters. These are people that could be working, family members that could have pages that are using these strong words to tie in, to encourage you to say, yeah, for life. Because think about how a gang work, or how a lynch mob work, or how I use those words, or how a group of people get together, and then you have one start yelling these words out, and all of a sudden you find yourself drawn in saying the same words. See how that works? You have somebody in the audience start cheering, and all of a sudden you cheering. You don't even know why you cheering, but you cheering and on, yeah, yeah, yeah. And somebody, that's how it works, guys. All you got to do is have some plants in the audience yelling and screaming. But see, we don't see that we see those through words, not actually them yelling it, but them verbalize and saying it through their words. You're right. You're right. And then you're sitting there in the audience going, yeah, yeah, you're right too, yeah. So you get drawn in by the supporters, by the number of supporters that are saying it. Now you don't feel alone. So now you got numbers behind it. Are some of these people part of the propaganda machine? The ones that have the voices through their pages, and then the ones that are sitting in the comment section. Are these part of the machine and part of the con? Ask yourself that. Ask yourself, would you have normally done this on any other basis? But these are only the people that are not completely tied in yet. The people that are not completely cinched in and still sitting on the fence, ask yourself, will a reasonable adult make these type of decisions or agree to some of the things that they're seeing? Ask yourself that question. Is this the act of a reasonable adult? Would you expect somebody that's going to prove something as an adult, surrounded, quote, by professional people, to go to the bank and take their money out and flash it and say, this is a receipt, instead of opening their computer and pulling up a bank statement and showing you, not showing anybody else, but showing you? What reasonable adult would accept that as fact, as an account of a bank statement? What reasonable adult would say you don't have nothing to show us or prove us when other people are saying this something is going on? Are those people real supporters, or are they part of a plant, part of the propaganda machine that's getting you to say the same thing? Because that's how it works. That's how propaganda works. You get people throwing things out so you can follow, making you see things, trying to convince you of things that you're actually seeing, but I'm going to put the covers over your eyes, and you're not actually seeing what you're seeing. It's smokes and mirrors. All right. So ask yourself that. Any reasonable adult, would you sit there and a person tells you they're surrounded by professional people and they're professional? Why would you go to a bank, get in your car, go to a bank, pull out money, and show me a little receipt? Now, I don't know what banks give out. Well, let's say this. I don't know. Like I say, they could. I don't know. But anyway, who does that? Ask yourself, what reasonable adult makes that? You have to show me money when you can show me what I would expect to see as an adult is a bank statement with the organization's name on it, and with the deposit and with the ending balances. We didn't have to do all that. Instead, you got the classic bait and switch, the classic con, the flash of the money, and those are for people that are not using their I would say brains right now, that have been brainwashed to believe that this is a way that you handle business. No, you don't. No, you don't. And you can't, and you don't do that by saying, I'm surrounded by professional people, and yet you make a move like that. But again, this is for the people that are on the fences, don't know. Hey, I don't need your, let me say this very clearly. I'm saying this for you all that are out there, that are sincerely have been a part of something, that believe that you were actually doing something to help, or maybe you fell into it, just like we all did. We all were in the beginning, like doing our little with LA, right? And we all kind of sort of thought that this is what it was, but it wasn't, right? Until the covers came off, until the blindfolds were removed. And it's okay. Don't feel embarrassed, because you know what? We all fell for it. A lot of us fell for it, but it's revealing itself slowly. But the con is not going to stop. Y'all say, well, why is she doing this if she knows she caught? Because the con doesn't do that. When they all in, they all in to the end. They all in till they can take everything they can, until they believe that in their mind. And it can be con, and part of the con is if you got a con that is to a point where they're also slash a narcissist. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop until the complete thing is done, because they don't see themselves as doing anything wrong. They're right, and everybody else is wrong. Read what the inclusion guru said again about a narcissist, guys. I can back that up based on experience and knowledge. Okay, everything she has written, not written, everything she has posted, all is classic to what we're seeing. They're not going to stop. They're going to carry the play out. And whoever falls in the way, gets in the way, you're just going to be what it is, right? They're not going to finish. A con does not give up the con game that easy. Especially when they figure they have got what they wanted and they have who they need. And they honestly believe that they have enough information to cover themselves. I say this because when you don't know, you have no documentations on your side, and she has all the paperwork. You don't know what's on that bank statement. You don't know how it's actually uh, who account is it. Is it in an organization's name? May not be in an organization's name. It could be in her name. And how is it listed as a donation, gift, or whatever? What is it going in? I said you could say one thing on these YouTube streets, but it could be something totally going on the paperwork on the other end. But when you have people, propaganda, I believe that are in those chats telling you they don't care, do what you want to do. I don't believe people feel that way about their money. I cannot believe 2,000 people, 1,700 people feel that easy about just giving somebody their money and then being told, hey, I'm going to give 4,000 of the 8,000 away. And you're going to be happy with that. And somebody in the audience go, well, we don't care. We don't care. We don't care. Do what you got to do. We support you. Guys, that's part of the propaganda machine. You don't know who that person is saying that. Because, hey, you know, who says that? What reasonable adult would say, hey, you just take the money and be unaccounted for? But what you're looking at is when you have 3 or 4 people saying it in the chat, or 5 or 6 who may be plants, nobody else wants to say anything because they don't want to feel like they're alone in it, or they're against the person. So they're not going to say anything at all, or they're going to go with the crowd. Like I said before, think about a gang of people, how a lynch mob starts, or how an angry set of people sitting outside, and somebody starts to yell. You're sitting there, you don't know really what's going on, and you hear the speaker, and they're speaking, and then somebody in the audience go, yeah, yeah. Then you all of a sudden you find yourself, yeah, 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 yeah. You don't even know why you're saying yeah. You just ride the train. Oh, they start saying different words like, get them, yeah, get them. They saw people name, yeah, that's what they are. And all of a sudden you find yourself calling the people name and doing this. You don't even know what you're part of. That can happen. Some people catch on and some people continue because they're just that brainwashed. They got drawn in. Now, and that's what we're looking at, guys. If you really want to do a case study on what we're seeing, this is true con, and the con will continue. I call this con. The act continues. Act 5 continues. The con continues. Whatever, and this is what you're watching. They're not going to stop. Well, why wouldn't she stop? They got all the stuff they're saying about her, and they got photos. She's still going, so she must be right. No, they'll go to the end until you can prove in a court of law. They're going to go. They're going to continue because in their mind, they're right, and you can't prove anything else different. Everything that you witness, guys, from the beginning to the end, with the use of authority, either with the job and with the daughter, all was a part of the con. All was a part of the drawing. All was a part of solidifying what they were trying to say. They use every element that a con would use. Every element that a con would use to get this money, to get this bag. And that's what they did, in my opinion, from what I was seeing. And to the last part of it was, and this is not the last, this was part 5, when they went to that bank and pulled that money out, calling themselves surrounded by professional people, and then going to the bank and pulling money out and getting a little white receipt to say this is what it is, when most adults would say, no, please, a bank statement is sufficient enough. But that was part of the drama, part of the effect, to deflect and get you guys involved. And then they came back on like nothing else happened, like we didn't see anything else all day. And then they start, we're going to do part. We're going to do a members only tomorrow, like nothing happened. They're not going to skip a beat. They're not. They're not going. They're going to keep the face up because the game's going to continue. And if it ends here, it'll pick up someplace else. Trust me. Only thing a con does is move, in my opinion, move to a different town or a different sector. But they're going to drain this, and unfortunately, I feel bad for the people that are really giving. They're from believing that they were given to something that was going to help somebody else. Um, Altruism is real. There are people that live like that and will give their last. Somebody said, well, people will give their last. Some people will not eat, and will feed somebody else through altruism. They feel like they got to do this. There's a strong need to help somebody. And if they're cinched in, she's going to drain them. If these are the type of people she may have with her, they'll give their whole bank account to her, and thinking that they're helping somebody. And she may have tapped into some of these people. And that's one of the things family members that are watching need to be aware of. If she's tapped into a person that believe in giving their all to help something, to help a cause, thinking that they're doing something to help somebody else, they'll give it their last. They'll give their last. They will not eat. That in some cases, they will do the most in some cases, thinking they're helping somebody, helping a cause. And like I said, if she tapped into somebody like that, and she got them, she knows what she has. She reads the personality, guys. She reads the personalities. I said this because, again, notice who she tries to link with. Notice that who that she doesn't want to be near. Notice who, when she peeps that they can. I'm not going back over that, guys. I said it before. They search out certain personalities, and they do it quick like. They do it quick like. And they kind of read personalities a little bit, and they search out the vulnerable. They search out those that they believe are weak-minded, vulnerable, and giving, and doesn't care. And they have cinched in good. They found them. That's why they went through the weeding process and the selection process. That's part of the con. They are now in the selection process. So any reasonable adult that think that you made it through, yes, you did. Welcome to the game. You were weeded out. You were specially selected. You weren't selected for only one reason. You want question, and you will give. You will follow without question. You'll be a part of the propaganda machine. There's two in particular that I know that I'm watching, but I'm gonna watch how they fall in this, and then I'll know for sure that, hey, yeah, that's what it was. But I'm watching how the two propaganda, the people that think that are part of it. There's more. There's more in the comments, but there's two in particular. But there's definitely a lot of part of the propaganda machine that maybe plants in the comment sections. I don't believe everybody there are real. I believe they're part of this propaganda that are getting people drawn in, and they sit in the audience and make certain comments and make certain statements, and then people feel the need to agree with them for whatever reason. And that is my belief. So for those that are truly believe that they were involved with something, I hope you're able to see eventually. But that's up to you. You're all adults here. But again, I feel for some of them, because they truly thought they were into something. Now, let's watch this. I saw something yesterday. After all that's been done and said, they said this is why they're mad. And they posted something in regards to money. Do y'all see again the con play? deflect, did not even deal with the situation, but did what we said I think a con would do, and that is to show, try to change it again by emotions. This is why they're mad. I don't think anybody's really mad. I don't think anybody is really mad. I think people are more just like, look, y'all see this? Because y'all do know, and I think it's the same thing we tell LA. You know that we are educated people. We are people that work every day. We just take the time to come on YouTube pages and say what we have to say. And but yeah, uh, RC, nobody wants your money, especially not that tainted money. No, ma'am, nobody want that. But that's the cause. That's the same thing. The other person used to do. They mad about this. See, what they want you to believe is that it's all about their money, and it's not. It's about their behavior. It's about what we see. It has nothing to do with money, but that's her again deflecting, right? And then again signing who she is. It's about that for her. All we're doing is talking about behaviors of what we see, right? I know for a fact, me continuing to talk, my numbers has dropped, continue to drop, but you don't see me stop talking, do you? You don't see me stop talking, and my numbers are going backwards, all the way back to zero. But that hasn't, so that should tell you something. Because if I was concerned about money or views, then my numbers would be going up. And I would shut up and be quiet and not talk. No, that's not how it works. At least for me. At least for me. I'm not going to shut up and be quiet. No, I'm going to talk about what I see. So yeah, so see that kind of put a like a little dent in your for me, because I know she doesn't probably watch me, but that does show that some of us here are doing content and what on her behavior, and don't care about those numbers, don't care about what she's making with her bank, because some of us have money, and I don't have to come in here, and I'm not going to do all that, guys. I know who I am, and I don't have to sit here and try to verify. I enjoy doing what I do, but anyway, that's just to throw people off of what we saw yesterday. They're going to make you think they mad. No, it ain't about being mad. Ain't nobody mad. Heck, everybody's just like, listen, look at this. Look at this. Y'all see this? It's about your content. It's about your behavior. RC, the same thing we were talking about with LA. It's about your behavior, and you definitely, again, I will say this, showing us who you really are, because all the things that you pointed out about her, if you're not almost the same, different situation, the same mentality, the things that I've seen, there's no real difference in decision making and behavior process. You just wrapped yours up in a pretty package and try to shove it down the people's throat. That's all I see. A different delivery method. You know better in my opinion now. A lot of things have revealed itself, and you're just as bad. You're just as bad, if not even worse, because you actually, in my opinion, went around the back way of doing it. At least you can see LA coming. I mean, she stomps through this. She comes in full force. You see her coming. Only thing is, she tries to hide it under a skit, but you see it what it is. You came through the back door in a pretty package, wrapped up in a bow, delivery and all. It took us a minute. It took us a few seconds to catch on. Oh, but Judah, in my opinion, the worst kind. When a backdoor con. And I'm sorry, guys. I know I don't normally call names, but I think the word con, because I could say worse like anybody else, but that's not what I do. That's not what I do. I'm not. You never see me call this lady anything other than con. The action, the behavior is a con behavior, and that's the most you're gonna get out of me. The behavior is that of a con. That's in my opinion. Everything I have seen lines up with it, from the behavior, the words, everything, the actions now lines up, and I'll stand on that. Um, you know, if somebody asks me, tell me why you say this, then I'll lay it out. If I had to stand up and a court of law and say why you said it was con, and I'll lay out everything exactly how I would do in a proper investigation. I will lay out what led me to what led me to this belief, and then I'll end it from top to bottom. I'll be able to lay out every action, from when I first started listening, and to the point when I started making my assessment and determining that this situation does warrant further looking into, and it looks like a con job from beginning to end. And it's not going to stop anytime soon, because they believe they're getting away with it, and they may have situations where they have sat in place. That's why they can sit up there and grin and put it in your face, because they may have gotten away with it. If that's cool, hey, that's not, like I said, it's not my money. I'm just doing the content on it. I have nothing invested in it. It's not my money. It's not. I have no money involved, but I'm just doing the content on the behavior and what I saw and what I believe happening. It's happening, and I get to do that, and I can do that, and I am doing it, and I will continue to do my content on things that at this point in time on this type of behavior. It's the same type of behavior that I saw with LA. No, let's say the type of behavior I believe. But things that I did not, see warranted what LA was doing. Like I said, some of the things I saw recently, giving the vulnerable people the hot chip. I didn't like that. I didn't talk about it yet, but I didn't like that. Giving those people those hot chips and not having I don't know. It was just something just not right about that either. So, things like that, guys, like I said, piqued my attention. I'm going to talk about it. So, again, it will continue. It's not going to stop. And those people that are involved and cinched in, guys, if you were to say, would they drink the Kool-Aid? In the end, yeah. They've been brainwashed. A lot of them have been brainwashed, especially if they've been locked in for more than a year with her. They've been truly brainwashed. They're not going anywhere. Especially when you got the propaganda machine out there swearing allegiance and life, and in the comments saying things, we will always love you, we will never leave you. We hear that's part of the propaganda machine, and I don't know who's behind that. But these are people that are cinched in and not going anywhere, guys. So when you're talking, just understand now, the people you're talking to are not going anywhere. We're just having content right now, because they're locked in and they're cinched in, and they're going to give their money, and they will continue to give their money, and they will give until the end, until they have nothing left. And she knows this. The con behavior knows this. And I'm out. This is justice. It's reacting.